Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I hope that you can hear me, and let me know in the chat room if you can. It's been an interesting time lately here with what's been going on in Alberta, but I just want to let everyone know that I'm in an area where I'm fairly safe and fine. There's lots going on, but yep, it's dry as a bone here. We're looking forward to some rain coming. Today, I want to talk about manifesting. I want to talk about manifesting a new reality. A lot of people talk about manifesting, and I'd like to simply elaborate as to how vast that is. Because it's not only just manifesting the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but manifesting is something that we're doing already. We don't know that we're doing it. A lot of the times we don't understand that vibration equals what we're creating. And more importantly, what I want to talk about is that manifestation in itself is a flow that's going on continuously, and we need to kind of adjust what we're doing in order to understand that we are the ones manifesting our reality. This disassociation that goes on with us about the fact that could we actually be creating everything? Yes, is what keeps us from completely stepping into the fact that we're our own sovereign being, and we are manifesting in this life all the time. Learning how to adjust the subtle frequencies and knowing who you are is the most important thing. Now, knowing who you are, knowing that you're this unbounded spirit within yourself, understanding that this unbounded spirit is a very playful aspect of you. We can look at it as it's about 5 years old and it loves to create. Stepping into this aspect of us, we create the way we want to create. We're still creating. We're just creating what we want to create. We create what we want. Whereas in the other aspect of us, the other state where we're more, I put it, there's like 3 things people talk about: the pain body, the doppelganger, and the soul, basically. Because the soul repeats and records time. And it records time and repeats time. When we're in our soul, we have a tendency to create in the vibration that is in our soul. And some of us have stored some years of stuff there. Now, when I hear people talk about the pain body, it sounds like the same thing. It ends up having a life of its own. And so in sessions, we work on being able to disconnect from that aspect and step into your unbounded spirit. Things get a lot freer then. All of a sudden, things are more playful, or they're more fun when you're not so deep into the soul aspect of you and what has happened in the past. So manifesting isn't just creating money. Manifesting is more about creating an experience you want to go through, a transition that you want to go through from any point A to any point B that you want to transform from. So say, for instance, somebody isn't experiencing the level of freedom that they want to experience in life. This is their point A. And they want to go to point B, which is freedom. Well, by focusing on point A, we're never going to get there. of how trapped you are, how limited you are, all these things, rehearsing these things in our minds, in with other people. This is part, again, of repeating time, recording time, repeating time. And so we continuously talk about these things, and you so wonder why we don't get out of there, because we have no forward vision of where we're going. This is very important, whether it's got to do with finances or healing, is that vision of where you're going needs to be created and developed within yourself in order for you to go there. It's like we don't go where we don't know. If we haven't pre-created it in any shape or form, if it's a blank to us, and all we can say is, I don't want what's over here, then we're not going there, because we don't know where that is. This is why we sit down in session and we start creating where it is you want to go, is so that you can start to move, because the modus operandi, the flow that's in you will naturally take over and do that once you have a destination in mind, right? Now, when I mentioned that manifestation is more about experiences, it's about an experience. You want to manifest an experience of going from one point to another point. You want to manifest the transition. Say, for instance, if it is financial, you don't know what you're going to create over here as far as the circumstance that's going to take you from this point to having whatever it is you want. You don't know what that transition will be exactly, because if you get too involved in exactly it has to be this, it could be coming from different avenues. So you want to relax in that and just focus on where you want to be and what you want to feel like, and to know that magic is real and that this will happen for you. Okay? So when we have to break through some barriers there, because we've been really taught that magic doesn't exist, that there's no such thing as magic, but magic happens all the time. And when you allow yourself to feel what it's like over here at the other end, in the transitioned part of you, you're already there, you can get excited, and it's like sometimes it's like a prayer, sometimes it's like an asking. It's being in that state right now. This is when we start to attract. And if we continuously kind of stay in there as much as we possibly can, things get freer and freer. Stay in here. What I mean is in the unbounded spirit, that nothing stops you from experiencing that, because what it is that's going to bring those experiences to you trumps anything that has to do with 3D. It trumps it completely. You're dealing with source energy, and source energy can bring about and deliver whatever it is you desire. And it's about you desiring freely without you saying to yourself, well, that can't happen because you need to be able to just step into it and just have faith. Step into it and know that the part of you that is the creator being in you knows what to do. So manifesting isn't only just manifesting the pot of gold or the sports car or the house you want or any of this. It's also manifesting a relationship with source energy. We could take it down to that level. What would it be like to have a relationship with source energy where you simply desired things and you trusted and you allowed and let go? Because I'll share with you that source energy wants to know what it is. And it's only through you that it gets to experience that. So it will create experiences for you to go through so you can feel that. If we start getting into this level of understanding who we are, we can change the world by changing us. And I know that a lot of people want to change the world in the way that it's going. But if you're outside trying to change the world, it doesn't work as well as being inside you and changing you, changing your experience, right? Because it is subjective, right? So manifesting is a very interesting, just a second, sorry. Someone was messaging me here. Manifesting has to do more with, and it flows better when you're desiring experiences. I would love to have this experience, or I'd love to have that experience. You know, whatever your experience is that you'd love to have, you'd love in that you're actually also asking for a deeper relationship with source energy. That it's you and source creating fun in your life. If you keep it fun, if you keep it joyful. When we get to the point sometimes, and I've seen a lot of people here, where they go, well, I did that and then it didn't show up, and where is it? And if you're in that frustration, stop. Don't even bother, because what's happening is you're creating more frustration. You always want to gauge what's going on inside of you. And if you're feeling frustrated about manifesting, well, it's only going to, think about it, it's only going to mirror that frustration and bring you more frustration. It's not that it's mean. It's not that source is mean. It's the fact that we don't realize our way of asking is what we're entertaining in ourselves all the time. You have to own the fact that you're source energy in order to experience flow, right? So by getting angry, you're really saying to yourself, I'm not source energy and I want source to give it to me. You are an intricate part of this manifesting ability. Now, that's exactly what they want you to get away from, because if you knew that, you would manifest out of this, what they call matrix. You would manifest yourself out of it. You would still be in it. You'd still be here, but you wouldn't be dealing with what other people are dealing with, because in your scope, you're in a different reality. And I've seen this. I've experienced this. I seem strange to a lot of people because they don't see how come you're not experiencing all the stuff I'm experiencing and I'm having all this trouble, because I literally am having an individual personal relationship with source energy, and each one of us needs to take a look at that and do that. It's about you and source creating your own reality. Yes, lots of things are going on in the world, but if we're ever going to get out of this as a consciousness of being trapped in limitation, we need to know our own freedom. And when we know our own freedom, that begins to spread throughout everybody, because everybody will get to know their own freedom. Now, again, manifesting is much more than just a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, which everybody seems to be thinking that's all it's about. And it's about everything in your life. It's about coming into a relationship with source energy, where you understand the principles of what you desire, and that could be what you're thinking about all day long. What you desire is becoming more manifested. Take, for instance, if we were to just take a deep breath in and imagine tomorrow going very, very smoothly, and see yourself in tomorrow. Magic happened. We don't know how it happened, but magic happened, and there you are tomorrow living a freer life or a lighter life, right? Now, as we're seeing that, as we're imagining that, we're also imagining what it would look like, sound like inside of us, what we'd be saying to ourselves, and what we would be feeling. And we would be projecting an experience out into the future that's going to come back to us in a matter of time. And so as time catches up and all of a sudden, boom, we're in that state inside of ourself, we just got recognition. And we go, woo, this does work. And so from that point, we go, if that works, I wonder if I could do it a little more. And then you project out again, seeing yourself in a state of either receiving, of relief, of whatever it is that you want to create. You see yourself in it, you hear what you'd be saying inside, and you'd be feeling it inside of yourself. Imagine that feeling. You see, now you're creating out in front of you, rather than not seeing anything. Once you create that out in front of you and you step into those feelings again, you come back to the present moment, time catches up again, and boom, you feel another hit of this. Now you're starting the snowball to going in the other direction. Instead of it going into a negative, and frustration, it's into the positive. A lot of people ask me about manifesting the lottery. Well, like I say to them, you can manifest the lottery. Magic can happen at any point in time in your life. But just remember, when you want to manifest the lottery to happen, how many people are wanting to do the same thing? So now it's a competition as to who's going to out-manifest the other one for the lottery. I did work for a while on creating an alternate reality where everyone gets to win, including myself, right? The thing it is that what I came up with was even better for me personally. What if I just didn't put my head on the lottery and put my head on the fact that I could open that up to anything can happen. I could receive in many different ways. I just want the experience of knowing that I am source energy, as all are. I want to know that I'm source energy and that I'm actually living in a much lighter and freer reality where flow happens. And so stepping into that experience worked a lot better than me just sitting there focusing on the lottery and winning the lottery, right? Because circumstances and events started to show up in my life to support that. And it always does. I'm just saying that the lottery itself, when you think of how many people bought tickets, all those people are manifesting their reality, that reality. And there's only, one winner usually, right? So you can focus on that. You could do that if you wish. But think about it, focusing on just seeing it come into your life, right? And don't judge the way that it is coming in. Abundance can happen in many different ways. Mantras to say or things to say is, I'll always be fine. No matter what happens, I'll always be fine. I'll always find the magic, and magic happens naturally to me. We want to say things like this to assist in that process too. So, manifesting a new reality. The name of this webinar. If we're going to manifest a new reality in society, I would say the manifestation, in my opinion, would be human beings coming back into their sovereign power, of being able to manifest freely what they desire. That will take owning who you are, which is source energy, which is the God within, which is that it's not out there somewhere that you have to ask it like a dad or a grandfather or a mother or a grandmother, but it's you. And it's understanding that we have to raise in vibration to a level of owning who we are. And then the more that we do that, the smoother things become. And we manifest things easier because we know there's a point inside of us that we know. Psychologically, we move from being, I can't be, this source energy to I am the source energy. I am it. The fact that I'm alive means I am it. And when we start moving into that, things start shifting, because now we're not in that level of subserviency, or it being source being big and we're just little things. Now we're equal. So come into your equalness with source energy. Understand that source energy needs you as much to experience the experience it'll manifest for you, so it knows what it is, as it is creating the experience. Circumstances and events show up in your life and start moving towards you in your timeline, because you're in this state within yourself. It's a beautiful state to be in, where you are source energy. You own it. That takes on a different vibration in the body. When that different vibration happens in the body, that different feeling inside of you, you attract in a different way. You attract not so much where it comes and it goes, teasing you kind of, but that it comes and it stays and it becomes a new normal. And then from that new normal, it moves on. So remember, you have a future timeline out into the future. This future timeline you can play with. You can start seeing yourself out there in this future timeline, in an experience that you would love to be in. Live the experience and bring it back to you, and know that that is happening right now. It's already starting to pull into place. And that stay away from trying to, well, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Don't do that. Stay calm, relaxed, neutral, and just know that it will show up. And sometimes it works even better if you forget all about it and you walk away. And I've been surprised many times that way. Move it away, you go on to something else, and all of a sudden, knock, knock, this shows up. And you go, oh, there it is. Wonderful. Here we go. And it's lovely, I guess now would be a good time for us to go to Q&A, the question answer part. So if you have any questions, start posting them in the chat room. Someone's asking about lucid dreaming. I listened to your advice on how to lucid dream. I asked myself for the first time, am I awake while falling asleep? And boom, I started popping out of my body. Then I heard a voice loud and clear saying something like, yay! In a way, then it was taking some kind of language talking some kind of language I didn't seem to understand, right? Okay. Yeah, that can happen. I mean, we have all sorts of languages out there. The best thing is to find out what it feels like. What does it feel like to hear that language? Stay open to it. I remember one time, one of my students, she was very, very much left brain, analytical, logical, and she started speaking in light language from that. It was like a deeper part of her all of a sudden started speaking light language, and this freaked her out because she was very much left-brained, and she couldn't help herself, And sometimes in class, she'd be sitting there, and all of a sudden, boom, you'd see her, it was starting, and I'd go, okay, go ahead, and then out come this language, and I couldn't understand it at all. I didn't know what she was saying or what that aspect of her was saying. But as she spoke that light language, I felt things, right? And then all of a sudden she'd jump up and she'd start doing things around me and removing things and doing things, just busy as hell. And it felt marvelous, right? But I didn't know what she said at all. I had no idea. But it was, I always say check and see what it feels like. What does it feel like? This is a really good indicator is feelings. Yeah? And if it feels good, then, cool. But it's good to hear snowflakes that this lucid dreaming works. Truth is that we're dreaming this one too. And that's for real. Once you understand lucid dreaming, you begin to understand that whether you're in a dream state or you're in what they call the wide awake state, both are a dream. Both are a dream of how we manifest reality. And we're manifesting this reality that we're experiencing here. And we're manifesting it individually. Okay? And I really have a strong sense that we're going to have to come out of this individually. Individually changing the way we view source, view ourselves, and that this is a singularity shift experience that we're experiencing. And to understand that doesn't mean we got sold a lot of things. And that doesn't mean that this isn't real. I remember one of the voices that came in and spoke to me said, Dwaine, this reality is real and unreal at the same time. It's both. It's a paradox. You can make it as real as you want to, or you can step out and it's unreal. And so if you live in that balance of real and unreal, only accepting what it is that you appreciate and letting go of the things you don't, right? That both is the dream, right? In the book Illusions by Richard Bach, his friend was walking down the street and there was a rock wall. And he said to him, he says, now watch this. And as he was walking, he turned and he walked through the rock wall. And after asking him about it, he says, you got to understand that most people try to do something like that and think that the wall is an illusion. But you have to remember that both of you are an illusion. And once you hit that point that both of you are an illusion, you can walk through the wall. So it's kind of interesting. But playing with lucid dreaming, you'll begin to understand that this 3D that they call is so solid is just as much of an illusion as anything. And you can start to play then. Lars is saying the chat is also on YouTube. Yeah, I know. I have both open. Now another question here. Brenda's asking, I have noticed a similarity to Wiccan beliefs, namely with spells and the need to forget them, is it basically the same thing? Well, of course, and that's how come Wicca, witchcraft, and all this stuff is so they try to turn the majority away from that, is because when we take a look at these old methodologies, the Gnostic beliefs, the Gnostic beliefs believed that there was nothing, there were you and source energy were one unit, and of course that got pushed away. And same thing, Gnostics, the Gnostic belief system also is part of the Wiccan, is also part of the ancient Egyptian, believing that aspect of you is God, is source energy, that you're the living example of that. And even though we hear things like, the Father is within us, or whatever that we hear, the kingdom of heaven is within us, it's like we disassociate from that stuff, because we've been so trained to do that, to disassociate. It means what it means. It's full on. It means what it means. The kingdom of heaven is within you. So what that means is that the outside world is the illusion, and the inside world, the kingdom of heaven, is within. And you can shift that inside of yourself. And yes, spells and spell casting and whatever, spells are being used. Language is spells. And it just depends on whether you're working with it in assisting humanity to grow and flourish, or you wanted to enslave humanity. Spells are being used with language. So it's and of course the biggest thing with the more ancient ideals is that the feminine and the masculine were equal, right? And then we went through a phase here where somebody didn't like that, and so had to make women subservient. But in doing that, they did it to themselves as the masculine as well, because we're both always and always will be half. Whether you're a man or you're a woman, you're both masculine and feminine within yourself. So by doing it to one aspect of the race, we did it to inside of ourselves as well. And so then was born a different aspect, something that was neither divine masculine nor divine feminine, that human beings have been living. So we have to come back to the divine masculine, divine feminine in equal again, in order to find that externally. You have to do it within yourself to find it internally. You have to bridge between the masculine and feminine. And a lot of times out there, you will find that it has nothing to do with what we're hearing as being male and female. It has something else, something else that's more of honor for each other. And that's not what's going on out there in the world. There isn't this honor that's happening between the two. So in the old Wicca, witchcraft, Gnostics, ancient Egypt, there was a value placed on the equality of the masculine and feminine. Okay? Because together we stand, divided we'll fall. And so that's when this came in with the feminine aspect to diminish the feminine. And it diminished the feminine in the male as well. And then we became powerless. And I went off on a tangent. So I'll look and see what other questions we have here. Snowflakes asked again, it happens so fast. Now every time that I ask myself the question, when falling, it's a sleep paralysis party. Oh. Now, I'll double dog dare you to do that while you're awake. Because when you do it when you're awake, you'll feel this start to happen. And what that is all of a sudden you're taking on, whoa, that's what I mean by asking you the question. It's not as much before you fall asleep, but it's now do it during the daytime, in midday. Is this the dream or am I awake? And when you start doing that, now you're going to start bridging again into your waking time. And you're going to it starts happening where you start to see the illusion that's being presented to us, what I call the societal hypnosis. Now, when you start experiencing that, then you can step away from it and realize, holy, I am freer than what's been going on here. You start noticing what's going on here as well. Not that you haven't been, I'm just saying that there's a lightness, a feeling as you start to understand that this is also equally a dream. And so if you can have control in your dream, you have control here too. Now, this isn't an energy, or this isn't a situation where you start, I'm not saying that you are, but I'm just sharing this for the public, where you're bragging about it and say, I could do this or whatever. It's more done in your own reality, in your own secret time. And you start shifting this, because of course, when you do, you need to prove it to you, not to the world. You need to prove it to you that you can play between both worlds, right? And then you find out there wasn't no two worlds. It was all a dream. Donna is asking, I have been working on focusing on the things I want and not things that's been troubling me, but I still haven't seen the change in my reality yet. Is it because my subconscious is not cooperating? Okay, now I'm going to enlighten you a little bit about subconscious here that I have discovered through years of working with it as a hypnotherapist. Subconscious means below consciousness. There's no such thing. I know you've been told it. I know you have read it. I know that so many people talk about it. It becomes such a common thing to say subconscious. What I'm saying is that there isn't a subconscious. There is a God consciousness, and then there is your social consciousness, your societal consciousness. When you flip this and realize that there is no enemy within that's holding you back from anything ever. When I started to work with it as a subconscious in my early days, I got exactly what I put into it. I got a subconscious, and that just needed to be programmed. I started to test it because I could see, sometimes when I tested it, I could see amazing healing things happening that shouldn't have been happening. And so I started testing it, and I started to ask it questions, and I started to treat it different than below consciousness to even and even above now. Above consciousness. So I call it greater than conscious, or I just flat out call it the God or goddess within. I understood something flipped in my dream. Something flipped, and I realized that it was never, ever some place inside of me that was holding me back, but it was my conscious mind holding me back. My conscious mind and its inability to want to expand to greater things. Here comes the unbounded spirit. As we connect with our unbounded spirit rather than the soul, then we lose something called victimization. Victimization doesn't exist anymore because we're not in our soul recording and repeating time. Nothing stops you. Nothing stops you from experiencing what you want to experience except knowing who you are. Knowing who you are is admitting that you are source energy. I am source. I have never been born, nor will I ever die. I am eternal. I have always been. When we start stepping into this, we're stepping into what I call this consciousness, the God consciousness, source consciousness, whatever you want to call it. What shifts is our point of self-reference from being limited to being the creator of it. And when we do that, watch what happens. When you start saying some of these things to yourself, I've always been here. I know who I am. I am source energy, right? I am that looks through my eyes. I have never been born, nor will I ever die. That puts you as the host within the body who is utilizing the body and trumping what's happening. So, Donna, nothing holds you back. And if it does, if you feel that it does, it's happening, there's something holding you back within yourself, just imagine yourself on the other side of the block. What would it be like if you transitioned that block and moved to the other side of it? What would you feel? How would you be? As you go through it, understand you're manifesting it. So sometimes we have to manifest our states of being as well to advance. And so as you manifesting is seeing yourself already there. And as you own that your source energy, imagine what that power would look like. And power meaning freedom. Power meaning love. Power meaning ease. What would that be like? As you step into that experience and become it, imagine what it would be like to feel the relief. Right? And leaving behind whatever that was. That's all you have to do. And as you do that, you're owning who you are. You're owning that you're a sovereign being. We have all, this isn't just because I'm speaking to you, Donna. This isn't just you. This is everyone. We have been trained and manipulated into the fact that we're less than, right? And that we have this internal enemy called the subconscious that is always taking us down. It doesn't exist. But we could be convinced of it. And if we can be convinced of it, then imagine it inside of ourselves. Then the next thing you know, we have just manifested it. And we can unmanifest it just like that as well. So, stepping into your unbounded spirit, believe me, when you start stepping into that 5-year-old creative being, and any time that somebody tries to guilt trip you back into the soul, you feel you should go back there, stop, drop, and shift back into the unbounded spirit. You're going to see a big shift in your reality. I hope that answered your question or somebody's question. Snowflake has asked, is lucid dreaming and out of body, are they the same dimensions? Which means 5D. There's going to be people that'll argue that and say, no, they're totally different. But I don't think so. I think they're the same. And I think that we're going into other dimensions. Just remember, 5D and up are delightful experiences. If you're having kind of other than delightful experiences, see, I have to word things correctly, eh? Because otherwise it takes people to places I don't want them to go. If you're having other than delightful experiences, know that all you have to do is stop and go higher in vibration and get out of there. Okay? And once you go there, these are all higher dimensions from 5D, right? And you can meet all kinds of beings, lovely beings that want to teach you, that are glad that you showed up, are happy you showed up. It's beautiful experiences, right? Thank you, K Angel. K Angel has volunteered to help me out, and she has converted my whole site into Japanese. And I just want to mention and say thank you to K Angel for that, because I'm sure that wasn't, a quick job to do. And now the people in Japan are experiencing my website, and we're going to be doing some more work. She's going to help me with doing some translating, where I will be giving some new things. I'm going to do some pay-per-view movies where people can learn things and do things, and then this will be also for the people in Japan. Will also have K Angel speaking and translating what I'm saying. So thank you, Kay. So someone is really, okay, a limitless freedom, giddy to see me live. Well, that's cool. There's an energy when you're in the unbounded spirit. There's an energy that is recognizable, and people feel it. And it's like, oh, and it reminds them of their energy, and they just come into it, eh? This is the biggest thing, is that freedom, our freedom, has been squelched. And when you step into that unbounded spirit that you are, that you were since you were born, and then it got suppressed, when you step into that unbounded spirit, the God within you, I mean, it's eternal. It knows things. You knew things coming in here. You knew a lot of things, right? And we all suppress that. And this is what this whole movement is about right now, with the Awakening the God Within movement, is awakening that aspect back up inside of us in humanity. Of course, Brenda, you can share these on, any one of you can share them wherever you want to share these videos. This is what it's for. This is for the public. And yeah, you can share them. Thank you. And thank you for sharing them. Leah asked, Leah asked for help. The best thing to do, Leah, is you can find me on Facebook. Dwaine Hartman, Dwaine Hartman on Facebook. You can go to my site. It's right here. You can see it, innerbalancehypnotherapy.com. And you can send me a message there, and let's talk if you need help. Okay. Lars is saying that he's had difficulties manifesting what he wants, but when he has needed to manifest something really fast, it has happened instantly. Why is this? Because when the crunch comes on, right, we no longer go into our critic. It's like something inside of us says, enough of you. I need to do this, and I know I can do it. And then it happens. You see, now that's the state that I'm assisting people to come into. So you don't question whether you're source or not source or anything. You know you are, and you know you manifest. And so when the crunch comes on, it's like kaboom, you get aligned really quickly, right? But what if we live that way? Instead of relaxing back into the soul, lamenting and miscreating, because the soul is nothing more than what we've already created that didn't work. It's the pain body, it's this sort of thing. What if we could step away from that and just go, hey, that's enough of that, right? And step into this. That's exactly what you were talking about, Lars. That's exactly what it is. When we get out of our own way, boom, we can go into the zone. And we can manifest. We can go into the vortex and manifest. I worked for years with figure skaters, golfers. They wanted to go into the zone. And the zone is nothing more than the removal of the critic and stepping into your God consciousness. But you cannot say that to people that aren't aware of that. So they call it the zone. Right? And so when they disassociate from the critic and step into that, it's the same thing you're talking about, Lars. It's when the pressure comes on to a certain degree, boom, you'll do that because you know it has to be done, right? And so that's the difference. It's the critic trying to convince you that you're less than, right? And so you get this manifestation when you don't have any time for the critic anymore, right? Pure postponement is that critic, and you step into it and you do it, right? Or we step back into this. This is what I'm really working through right now to bring forward to people, is being able to step right into the unbounded spirit and do something about disconnecting from the soul until we feed it some more information, some more higher vibrational stuff, so that we can connect to our soul again, or just divorce it. I'm not sure. So like I say, I'm working on these ideas right now. Oh, thank you, Kay. She's talking about here that she was doing a recording today introducing me on her site to the people in Japan. Thank you so much. Snowflake is saying, yay, thank you. Your webinars got such an impact in my life. I can't even imagine what it would be like to have a private session. How do I know if I need one or 10? I've been doing this for many years. I have a unique ability to take and listen to everything that you have got going on and pinpoint it to just a few things. because it's only ever a few things that actually keeps us from being in our total true nature. My goal in all sessions is to have you back in the driver's seat as fast as possible. I'm not into enslavement. I'm not into pretending you need more sessions than you do. This is going to be up to you, whether you need more after. I do a program of 4 sessions, and I can nail just about anything that you need to have changed, transformed, or whatever in that, because I know who's doing it. It's you. And so I'm really good at eliciting from you your highest values, the highest levels that you can reach, and you'll be amazed how much you'll heal yourself by doing a 4-session program. So 1 session, 4 sessions. A 1 session is just a taster, really. It's for people that want to come and just, test it out without investing a bunch. Now, I've done a lot in a single session. But with the package of 4, it really helps you to unfold. We meet once a week. You unfold a little more. We find out where you're at. We come at it again until the 4 sessions are done. And like I say, I have, because I've done it for so many years, and I've done it for one purpose, really is to have people come into their highest state that they can come into. I've picked up a lot of techniques and tools along the way and created them, right? Now, Maya is saying, I am trying to change my thinking to manifest and or positive thinking, and every time I catch myself in repetitive thinking, it's like snapping out of a trance. It is a trance. It is a trance. And you have to snap out of the trance, and it's called pattern interruptions. You have to do the pattern interruption to come out of the trance. Now, down at the farm supply store, if you go down to the farm supply store and you ask them, there's a specific thing there that they use on animals sometimes when they're trying to get them to herd into a certain place, and it gives them a little electrical shock. Sometimes those work too. No, I'm kidding. Don't ever use that on yourself. But we do need to we do need to shock ourselves a little bit, not by electricity, but within ourselves. Notice when you're starting to go into that pattern and go poof, and take yourself out, right? I have induced that even, and with people a little bit, to have the greater mind do that for you, is to give you a little bit of a wake up, that this is happening, that we're going back into the pattern. Also in sessions I've done that where I have, when a person starts going into that pattern, I have triggered I made an anchor that'll trigger as they start to go into it and boost them back out into where they need to be. And that works well too, where the start of the behavior of going into the hypnosis again, the societal hypnosis, is a trigger, and it'll give a jolt, and you'll come out into your unbounded spirit. So we play with all kinds of things in sessions to help break certain patterns, because it is a habit. When we go into that repetitive thinking, that is a habit. And believe me, that's supported by all that is here, because they want you in that repetitive pattern, doing the same thing every day, like Groundhog Day. And they don't want you to discover how magic you are. So try to look at it this way, Maya, there's that what's being kept from you is true magic. And are you going to allow that to happen? Or or you're going to take a deep breath in, right? And come out of the trance, right? So, I need to talk to you guys about the fact that I'm going to be in Vancouver for a one-day workshop, Stepping into Your Unbounded Spirit, and that's June 18th, 2016, at the Rhodes Wellness Center in Vancouver. Tickets are on sale on my site at innerbalancehypnotherapy.com. There's a big old banner right in the front. You can click on it, and it'll take you right to the tickets. So if you're in the greater Vancouver area and want to attend, I will be in Vancouver on this date. We already have the venue. It's already set up. All we need is people to show. So it's time to go. And I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today. And as soon as I get back to the chat screen here. There. Well, there you go. Maya's just said that she's going to book 4 sessions. Well, that's good. You're going to experience a part of you that you've never experienced before, because as each session builds, you become freer and freer. Doesn't mean you don't have you can't come back and see me again after. You're more than welcome. But I don't gear my business on the fact of one person returning all the time. I want to see you in your own power, driving your own vehicle, and doing well. So you will also learn how to create and take care of yourself as well, utilizing your oh so powerful imagination. Someone is saying that there's more questions on YouTube, and there could be. I don't know. I'm looking here, and it seems like it's the same as mine, what I have here. So hopefully I've answered all your questions. I think so. Anyway, it's time for me to go. And so thank you for everyone for coming out tonight. And looking forward to seeing you again next week. And have a delightful week. Blessings. Bye for now. And talk to you soon.
God, to be God, must rule the earth and transform